Hello and welcome to Learn MySQL with Justin Posey, brought to you by CreativeOnlineSchool.com. A little bit about me. I have 9 years in web development, and my specialization has been in MySQL and PHP. There are other courses available at CreativeOnlineSchool.com. In this tutorial, we're going to go over a basic introduction of MySQL, how to install MySQL Server, PHPMyAdmin, and MySQL Workbench. We're going to teach you how to create databases and tables, how to import and export information from those tables, how to input, retrieve, and manipulate data with SQL, and some more advanced SQL techniques for those who want to get the most out of their system. Well, let's get started then. First, a quick aside about pronunciation. As you can tell, I've been calling it MySQL. That is the correct pronunciation. However, it is also commonly called MySQL. If you hear it called that, don't be confused. It's the same thing. So what is MySQL? Well, MySQL is a relational database management system, or RDBMS. According to a poll by Dell, around 90% of the 300 companies polled actively use these systems in their businesses. So as you can see, the RDBMSs play an important role for almost every company. MySQL is one of the most widely used of the RDBMSs in the world. According to the same poll, 41% of the companies were using MySQL, putting it in the top 3 along with Oracle and Microsoft SQL Server. So now that we know it's important, the next question is, just what is a relational database management system? Let's break it up into 2 parts. First, a database management system is simply a system designed to allow you to store and retrieve information from a database. For example, let's say you wanted to store a list of reservations. A database management system would allow you to put that information into a database, and it would store it for you and keep it available so that you could retrieve that data at any time. However, you can only pull out what you put in. Now, a relational database management system does the same thing, but it uses a particular structure for storing the data called the relational model. This model allows different pieces of information to connect to each other in a meaningful way. For example, if you look at the image on the right, you can see that there are 2 different sections of information. But despite these being stored separately, you can produce a combined section of the information. This is possible because both sets of information have something in common, the activity code. That commonality is what relates them. And storing information with those commonalities is what makes the database relational. So how does MySQL store and retrieve data? It uses something called the client-server model. In this model, the database typically resides on a server and is accessed via a client through the internet. A client can be an interface for direct manipulation, such as PHPMyAdmin, or it can even be a website, application, or program which operates behind the scenes. Now that we know what a client is, let's talk about how a client communicates with a server. To do this, it uses something called SQL, or Structured Query Language. This language can be used to define, update, and query the database. A query is just a term from the set of instructions sent. Like any language, SQL has a specific set of syntaxes that when sent from the client to the server can then be interpreted by MySQL so that it can take the appropriate action on the database. A quick example of this syntax would be something like select name from person where age equals 21. We'll get into the actual syntax later in the course, but for now, that's how it looks. And the best part is that SQL is used by virtually all relational database systems. So you can use the same set of instructions no matter what your environment is. That's it for the introduction. In the next video, we will go over the different types of data that can be stored within MySQL.